Hey guys, so I have a Hokusai inspired batted paint for you guys today. I actually did an acrylic painting that is basically what this look is, and I just wanted to do a body paint for it. So that's what we're doing. Let's just get into the tutorial. If you guys aren't familiar with Hokusai, he actually created the pretty popular painting, The Wave, which is just it's just a beautiful style, and I wanted to create something inspired by it. So the first thing I'm doing is I am sketching out the face and just the waves and stuff and the moon with a NYX white pencil. And guys, I'm looking at a bit of reference, so every time I look down, I actually printed out a picture of the wave painting and also the acrylic painting I did just to look at it. I recommend that for anything, if you do anything creative. I know this sounds obvious, but just look at something. Don't blindly go in and start sketching or painting or whatever. But anyway, so then I'm taking some light pink paint from the Maybelline palette that I have, and I am filling that in down to about the eyeball of the girl, and then I'm taking a little bit of darker pink paint and I am bringing that all the way down. I'm also going over, each time I lay down paint, I'm taking my beauty blender and just tapping it. Just helps everything blend and smooth out. To give that sky a little bit more texture and just a more sky-like quality to it, I'm taking the NYX cream paint in pink and I'm just tapping that all over with my beauty blender, and then I'm taking the white cream paint and I'm just doing the same exact thing, tapping that all over. It just gives it a more sky-like quality to the background. To paint some clouds, I'm taking my finger and I'm taking the white cream paint and I'm just tapping my finger into the cream paint and then tapping it onto my body. This is just a really easy, fun way to paint clouds. Now for the moon, so I'm just taking some white Maybelline paint and I'm filling in that circle. To paint my lady, I'm taking some light blue paint and I am filling in her face. I'm avoiding her eyes. I'm also painting her neck. I wanted to add a little bit more depth to my sky, so I took Sugar Pill's Hotsy Totsy and I'm just taking some of that red color and just tapping it around the sky. I'm putting a lot of this in the darker section just to add more texture and, just a more cloud-like quality up there. Now for Jilted from the Urban Decay Electric palette, I'm taking that, it's a darker pinky purple, and I'm tapping that all around, doing the same exact thing I did with the red, just to give a little bit more texture in the sky. Now back to my ladies. So this is the Sephora watercolor palette. I'm taking a baby blue shade from this and I'm tapping that all over where I put the paint just to give it more of a thickness because it looks very transparent. The first shadow I am shading with for the face is Chaos from Urban Decay, and I am just taking that, putting it underneath the neck area, on the neck, on the cheekbones, lid. I'm also taking it and kind of carving out where the nose would be. I love little rosy red cheeks, so I'm taking this peachy pink color from that Sephora watercolor palette and I'm putting it on the cheeks, on the nose, chin, and then I'm taking a little bit of skull from the Kat Von D pastel goth palette and I'm putting highlights, so on the middle of the lid, cheekbone, underneath the contour of the cheekbones, nose, all over the place. I wanted my girl to have red lips, so I took Hotsy Totsy from Sugar Pill and I just gave her some cute little lips, and then I'm taking, what am I taking? Oh, white from the Maybelline palette, and I am filling in the whites of my lady's eyes. I'm avoiding her iris. I'm going to be filling that in with pink paint. I'm going to start adding more extreme definition to this lady's face, so I'm taking Anastasia Beverly Hills Noir and I'm starting to outline the eyes. I'm dividing the lips, making it so that there's two lips, and then I'm putting a little bit of definition around the nose, just so you can start seeing the makings of the face, or more of the makings of a face. Then I'm taking Skull from the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette, and I'm putting that on the nose, upper lip, because there'd be a little highlight there, and just around where the nose bridge would be. I'm doing some shading to the pink iris with the red shade from the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. Then I'm taking Natural Beauty from Tarte and I'm adding just like a dot of that in the middle of the cheeks, like the cheek blush. Then I'm taking NYX foundation mixer in white, and I'm doing like a not so intense highlight around the eyes with this. And then we're taking the Maybelline Paradise Pink palette and I'm taking white. And I'm doing some pops of highlight, just some like sharp white pops of highlight on the cheekbones, around the eyes, nose, chin, all over the place. And this lady's starting to come together, you guys. She really is. Some dots too, because dots are like added definition that or added highlights. I could have stopped here honestly and had her like have a bit of a softer look, but I love me some details, so I'm adding some more. So this is the black Maybelline paint. I'm giving her some lashes on the bottom and the top. And when I do these lashes, they're kind of like curled little lashes, because lashes are curled, they're not like straight. But then I'm taking Noir from the Naturally Pretty palette. I'm adding a little bit more shading to like around the face, around where the bangs are, underneath the cheekbones. Then we're gonna take some white from my paint palette, and I'm adding some swirls, because your girl I just like swirls, I really do. And I like to add them to the cheeks. It's like a stylistic thing. Now for the fourth round of highlights, I'm just adding some like dots around the eyes, around the nose, cheeks, just like all over the place, just to add a little bit more detail, because I'm like obsessed with detail. And we're finally going in and filling in that hair. So that hair is supposed to be like the foam of the water, so I'm filling it in with like a buttload of white paint, which in case you guys were wondering, white body paint is a fucking nightmare to work with. So this was kind of difficult. It just took a lot of layering. So I'm just doing that. I'm giving her some like curls in front of her face, and I'm just generally filling in like the foam or the white stuffs of the wave. I decided to take a little break from the white, and I started filling in the blue. So I'm just doing that of the like under part of the wave that I sketched out in the beginning. I'm just outlining it and then I'm filling it in. Once I get that like first part of the wave filled in with white, I'm going to my arm and I'm just filling in a little bit of that white. Honestly guys, if I could do anything over with this look, I would have brought that like up a little bit farther, just for like aesthetic reasons. To give that moon a little bit more of like a moony texture, I'm taking Forget Me Not and Coral Reef, the colored mascaras from NYX, and I'm just tapping them all around the moon. Just gives it that like kind of cratery effect. To add a little bit of a highlight to my clouds, I'm taking Maybelline's Clown White, and I'm just basically doing what I was doing in the beginning, but like not as much. I'm tapping this in all the areas where there are clouds to add a little bit of a highlight to them. If you guys did not notice, my ass is obsessed with highlights, so I need to add some more highlights to these clouds. I'm taking like a flat round brush, and I am dragging down a little bit of that clown white and kind of like flicking it out as well, just to, I don't know, make them look fluffier and kind of end them a little bit. If that makes sense. I think it makes a little bit of sense. You guys can see what I'm doing. It just makes more of an intense highlight. And then I'm taking the white, what is this? The white liquid liner from NYX, and I am just lining the one side, and then I am tapping out some highlights, and that's creating like a highlighted crater effect. I said, you know what this guy needs? This guy needs a little bit of sparkle. So I took my Maybelline Master Holographic, and I took like a round C brush, eyeshadow brush, and I just tapped that all over the sky. It just gave it a really like pretty sparkly effect that I was kind of digging. So that's what I did. To attempt to thicken up this thin-ass white paint, I took some of Skull from Kat Von D and I just like layered the shit out of it on this lady's like hair and the foam with the water, because it desperately needed it. It was patchy. It was real patchy. After that, I took Doom and I just kind of put that like all throughout the white, just to make it look a little bit more like, you know, like less flat. I put it all over the waves and the white of the hair. Blue Milk from Lime Crime. So I'm taking this and I'm just adding some like curved lines to the blue part of the wave. I'm doing this to add like a little bit of motion to the like waves and a little bit of form to them. Just, you know, just a little something, something. And then I'm taking white, the NYX liquid liner in white, and I'm doing some little dots all around. This is like the splatter of the waves, like the wave foam. Just doing that all over where the waves are. We're finally moving on to my face. This is the Krylon paint stick in 070. I'm putting this all over and then blending it out. Stargazer white powder. This is just like a pigmented white powder, so I am patting this all over my face. I'm taking Tarte's Natural Beauty blush and I'm putting this basically all over the middle of my face. I'm putting it on my cheekbones, on my cheeks, my nose, just all over the place basically. Now we're going to be contouring with Urban. So this is Urban from the Urban Decay Electric Palette, and I am contouring my cheekbones, bringing that like up into my temples, and also throwing a little bit underneath my nose. Once I get done that, I'm taking that same exact shadow, and I decided to like contour the bridge of my nose a little bit, and I also flicked it into like where my lid space is, and I just wanted to add a little bit more definition to my nose because it kind of looked like a big just red blob thing with that Tarte blush. I also took a little bit more of that Tarte blush and I flicked it into my eyebrows. Now we're going to start on the eyes. So I took the Carity Unicorn Dreams palette. I took Hooves and I put that in my crease, just going back and forth with it. Then I took Noir again from the Naturally Pretty palette, and I just kind of started to define my outer V and underneath my eyes with that, just going back and forth. I layered up Noir a little bit lightly, and then I went back in and blended it out. After that, I took Skull from the Pastel Goth palette and I put that on my brow bone. I decided to do a cut crease because I kind of love them, so I took the Kat Von D Whiteout Concealer and I just cut my crease with that. I did that with a like round flat brush, and I just curved it in the inner corner of my eye, and then I flicked it into the middle. After that, I took 86 from my Inglot Pure Pigments and I tapped that onto the middle of my eye. I like wet my brush first, but I tapped it on the middle of my eye, and then I took 111 from the same like Pure Pigments, and I did that, I like tapped that onto the inner corner. I wanted it to be kind of like a blend of those two pink colors, so like that lighter pink going into that like more intense pink. Once I got done with that, I took the Makeup Forever ink liner and I just did a cat eye because I love cats. I just love them, okay? And then we took the Noir from ABH and I started to fill in my eyebrows, kind of basically like how I normally do, but like a different color. So I did Noir at the end. I took Intense Glaze from ABH and I put that in the front of my brow, and then I took Noir again and I brought like, I like cut the crease again and flicked some shadow into where my cat eye is, just so there would be like an intense smoky look to the eye. Then I took Mayron's Paradise Paint in white and I started to sketch out some tears. So I did like some squiggly lines leading into a teardrop at the end. Once I got that done, and by the way, I kept each of these like teardrops like inconsistent, so they don't all look the same. It just makes it look a little bit more realistic. Once I was done that, I took Skull from Kat Von D and I just put that in certain areas of the like streaming down tears. To start shading in those tears, I'm taking Dope from Kat Von D and I am sort of outlining one side of the tears, so like the left or the right, and yeah, I'm just basically outlining either the left or right side. Then once I get done that, I'm taking Noir and I'm very like outlining like the beginning of the tear coming out of my eye and then the end of the tear reaching my cheek. Again, left or right side doesn't really matter. Now for more highlights, so I took the NYX white liquid liner and I added like dots or either like slight outlines to the tears, or both honestly, and that just gives it more of a highlight. The white from the NYX is a little bit more intense than my Mayron white paint, so and I like doing highlight effects with it. Now we're on to the cheek waves. So I'm sketching out the foam, and then I'm sketching out the blue part of the wave, and then I'm filling in the blue part, and then I'm filling in the white part. Who loves glitter freckles? I do, I do, I do. So I'm taking some glitter and I'm taking some eyelash glue and I'm sticking that like all around my nose. I just wanted some nice little, I wanted to incorporate glitter somewhere in this look because I'm kind of obsessed with it. I'm taking Chaos from Urban Decay and I'm putting that on top of the dark blue paint just to thicken it up a little bit, and then I'm doing the same thing with Skull from Kat Von D on top of the white paint. Once I get done adding that white paint, I am taking a little bit of Doom, and I'm just doing the same thing I did with the girl, like her hair and the waves and stuff, just to add a little bit more like definition to the white on the cheeks. Then we're taking Blue Milk and I added a line, an outline around the dark blue, and then I'm taking the white NYX liquid liner and I'm tapping out some little like foamy things all over the wave. I wanted to add some variation to those taps, so I took the Absolute New York liquid liner in mint and I just tapped some mint color around. Once I did that, I took Jilted and I added a little bit more of a contour underneath my mouth and underneath my nose, and I was like, you know what this skyline needs? It needs more sparkle. So I had some like star sparkles and I used like a chunky iridescent sparkle. I mixed them together and I just added this all over the sky in certain areas. Now for the last step, the lips. I took Razzle from Kat Von D's Glimmer Veils and I just dragged that like out and blended it out with my finger, added it to the middle of my lips. Then I took Harbury Crush from Wet n Wild's Mega Catsuit line and I created a sort of gradient blended out effect with that. I rubbed that out with my finger as well, and that is the finished Hokusai makeup tutorial, guys. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys liked it, give it a like, hit that little bell if you want to be notified when I make videos, subscribe, makes me happy, and I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Bye guys!